Snow White is coming. And we've got several news stories about it. It will be the topic of our Monday Versus. Alan, if you would bring up this news story. Snow White is being slammed for the overuse of CGI dwarves. Now, of course, we know the whole controversy with Snow White, where Peter Dinklage talked about this new Snow White movie and dwarves, and they end up taking jobs away. Peter Dinklage's critique may have contributed, I say may, no proof, may have contributed to the use of CGI dwarves in the movie. Alan, if you would bring up the story.
Yes, here we go. The backlash continues. Actress and Little Woman LA guest star Ali Chapman called out Disney for replacing the Seven Dwarfs with CGI in the new live-action movie. It's a movie that's supposed to have real dwarves. Instead, Disney chose to use CGI to replace actors and actresses that are little people that are very talented, Chapman told TMZ on Wednesday. Let's see, Peter Dinklage's actress Ali Chapman and her husband Matt McCarthy criticized the movie, calling it a missed opportunity for little people in Hollywood. Peter Dinklage also previously slammed the film for keeping what he called an outdated portrayal of dwarves while making other progressive changes. Meanwhile, actor Martin Kleba, one of the film's voice actors, expressed disappointment that Disney scaled back the movie's premiere due to the controversy. As the film's March 21st release approaches, debate over representation in Hollywood continues. Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I think the CGI dwarves, as we've seen in the trailers, look terrible. They look like AI. Like they have that creepy look. There's not anything whimsical about these CGI dwarves. Alan, your thoughts? And I have another related story we'll get to.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely talked about this a lot. It was, I mean, the use of CGI dwarves seems to be a compromise that the worst compromise ever. Because you could have either have done the actual dwarves from the Disney classic in CGI, or you could just hired little people to actually play the dwarves. Instead, we got this middle ground that looks awful, and why? I don't know how a decision like that is made, because it was simple: either cast real people or you copy Walt Disney's dwarves, and they chose not to go in either direction.
Now, you and I are seeing Snow White next week on Tuesday. There's a poll we're going to do about maybe we should just do an out of the theater reaction. But we have another story related from our friends at That Park Place. If you can read it on your computer, Alan, or read the synopsis of it.
Yeah.
Disney reportedly doesn't know what to do with out of control Rachel Zegler as Snow White promotion falls apart. One thing I've seen, there's this video that surfaced of her, like, is she at Disneyland?
She was singing the singing thing, right?
Yeah.
She was in France in front of the castle that inspired the castle in Snow White, and she sang one of the songs from the film.
She sang one of the songs from the film, and they cut to a little girl mouthing the words, which I think was total BS. But she's not doing any media. It's very controlled. She's only being interviewed by like people that are safe, which is basically Disney people off camera answering canned questions where her answers are rehearsed. If you would read this story from our pals at That Park Place, Alan.
Yeah.
While I try to get these ads to go away.
Yeah. Disney's Snow White remake is turning into a full-blown PR disaster, and a lot of it comes down to lead actress Rachel Zegler. According to insiders, the Disney executives have repeatedly asked her to dial back her outspoken political views and critical comments about the original 1937 film, but she's refused. From mocking the classic storyline and dismissing the prince's role as creepy, to making fiery political statements, Zegler has alienated many Disney fans, turning her into one of the most polarizing figures in Hollywood. Now, with backlash mounting, Disney is scrambling to control the narrative. Instead of a traditional press interviews, which could lead to tough questions, they're leaning into carefully chosen influencers to help promote the movie in a more controlled way. With the film's release just around the corner and confidence in the reception seemingly low, Disney is clearly in damage control mode.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. The LA premiere is Tuesday, I believe. You and I are seeing it Tuesday.
Mhm.
We will do an out of the theater reaction. Not sure we'll do a late night stream, but the very next day we'll be covering the Snow White. I've heard things, Alan, last thing before we go to your comments. I've heard it's actually not that bad.
Yeah. I don't know your source. My source says that it's good, not great. Songs are okay. And the word he used was safe. The movie is very safe. Which, again, I think that just goes to, it will probably do Mufasa numbers. And the beauty of that is, even though Snow White may lose money for Disney, to have a $300 and $400 million box office means a lot to theaters. That's something theaters desperately want, and they don't care how good the movie is. Just bring people into the theater.